everyone, Amber Willems here with Beautiful Life by Design, where we empower women to be successful entrepreneurs and intentionally build the lifestyle of their dreams. So if that resonates with you, please click that like button and consider subscribing, because each and every week we publish a new video with tips, tricks, and strategies on how to build a successful business. So today's video is going to be a little different than usual. In this channel, we talk about business and building the lifestyle that you love. Sometimes that means we talk about specific strategies and techniques and tools for your business. Other times, like today, we get more real and vulnerable and have more of a heart-to-heart type conversation. Because in business, we need those tips and strategies, but we also have to develop ourselves as a person if we want to build a successful business. I love what Hal Elrod says in The Miracle Morning. He says, "Who you become is more important than what you do, and personal growth and leadership of oneself is essential to your success." You know, we often think of business as something that benefits a person financially, but by being an entrepreneur, by being a businesswoman, you are in one of the best schools for developing character and building yourself as a person. Because in order to succeed in this industry, you have to push yourself. You have to learn new skills. You have to develop a healthy mindset. You have to go beyond your normal comfort zone. Success in direct sales is 5% skill and 95% mindset. What determines your success in this industry is not your company, it's not your comp plan, it's not your upline. What determines your success is going to be you. So today we're going to talk about something that has been on my heart and something that I personally have to do on a regular basis. We're going to talk about being the guardian of your heart and your mind. So I want you to picture yourself in the middle of a circle. You're kind of the bullseye in the middle of this circle. And in this circle are all these people and all these voices. Outside of the circle, there's people and voices, but you can't hear them. You can only hear the ones that are in this circle. Now this circle is going to represent the people and the voices that you allow to speak into your life. And that circle can be as big as you let it or as small as you let it. There will always be a line. There is going to always be voices outside of our circle. So it's up to us how big or how small we want that circle to be and who we allow into this circle. Sometimes there's going to be negative voices in your life. Sometimes it's going to be, something that you picked up from a coworker, or something that you heard, or something that you saw on TV and it made you think negatively about yourself. There will always be negative voices in our life from one form or another, from one source or another. We have to decide if we're going to allow that voice to live inside of this circle that is influencing our thoughts and our mind. Sometimes these negative voices will come from people whose opinions of us don't really matter. Sometimes we allow people into our circle and we allow them to speak into our life, and they are not ones that we should be giving that level of importance to in our thoughts. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a new coworker, she's immature and jealous of where you are at in the company. And throughout the day, she might throw a jab or give an attitude or just say something that's unpleasant. Now, you have the choice to either allow her words to eat at you, to mess up your mental state of mind, to take up space in your day, or you can choose to push her words out of your circle. And she is not one that gets to have residence in your circle. And sometimes this is much harder. Sometimes there's a friend or a family member that is toxic. And I know from having to deal with this personally how difficult this can be. Some of you know a little bit of my story, but there was a family member that was toxic and in a very unhealthy place that would go around hurting members of my family. And it got to the point where I had to cut off ties with this person. And as extremely difficult and sad as that was, and still is today, it was incredible the level of relief that we all have felt by not having that kind of person in our life or in our circle anymore. So I want you to look around at the people that you have in your circle. Who are you listening to? What are those voices that you are listening to? And sometimes this negative voice that we allow into our circle comes from the mean girl in our very own heads. And we all have her. It's kind of like the proverbial good angel and bad angel, but it's like the good girl and the mean girl. The good girl is kind and encouraging and positive. The mean girl is harsh and critical and rude and downright cruel. So I want you to picture your circle again. What if you allow the good girl to come in? And what kind of atmosphere is she going to create in your mind? She's going to be encouraging and positive and joyful, and she's going to give you the determination that she knows you can do those things that you want to accomplish. Now, what if you let the mean girl into your circle? First thing she's going to do is take the good girl and lock her up in a closet. Then she's going to wreak all kinds of havoc in your mind. She's going to remind you of your mistakes. She's going to bring up things that you failed in before. She's going to be negative. She's going to speak lies into your life. She's going to call you names. So it's going to be up to us to decide which kind of girl we allow into our circle. It's going to be up to us to silence that mean girl when we hear her negativity and her lies, to be like, shh, you don't get to talk today. You don't get to speak into my life today. Because we are the only ones in charge of our circle. No other person on this planet can decide who comes or goes or stays in your circle. This is completely up to us. I want you to become bold. I want you to be fierce. I want you to picture yourself as Wonder Woman fighting to keep evil out of her world. Your people, your family needs you to get these negative voices out. Your world needs you to be the best that you can be. And this starts in this mental space, in your circle. You are the sacred guardian of this space. You are the princess warrior of your world. So what are some ways that we can guard our circle? A lot of this is habit, being aware of who we let in and getting into the habit of pushing out that voice that isn't helpful or it doesn't have the right to be in our circle. And often when we push a voice out, it might come right back, or it might pop up again later when we least expect it. So the more that we do this, the easier it will get to quickly push out that bad voice before it has a chance to set up shop in our mental space. And often this takes time and practice. Some of us have had these negative voices in our circle for so long that it takes a lot of time and a lot of work, and sometimes professional help, to get rid of these voices. It takes time to build these mental muscles, but the more that we clear out the negative, the more space our brain has for good. Our mental space only has so many tenants that it can room and board, but we decide who gets to live there. We are the landlords of this space, and it might be high time that we kick some of these renters out. Another way that we guard our circle is by recentering our mind on truth and goodness. There's a reason why gratitude is such a healthy habit. There's a reason why the Bible talks so much about it and so much about our thoughts and our mind. Years ago, someone that I'm close to had a very difficult boss. Even though this person was far surpassing the other people in her branch, including the boss, which actually might be why he was so difficult on her, this guy always found something to give her a hard time about. Her customers adored her. She even had some that would come in just to tell the boss what a great job she was doing. But there were times when his harsh criticism and the way he was so unfair and making things difficult for her nearly had her to tears. So she would call and we would talk, and one day I shared with her this concept of having a mental circle and choosing who you allow in that circle. And this helped change the way she viewed her job. She decided to focus on the truth. Was she doing a good job? Absolutely. Were her boss's accusations true? No. Was her boss hard on her simply because it looked so bad on him to have someone that was barely out of high school outproducing him? Probably. The more that she could separate what was actually true and only allow that into her circle, the better she felt, the more she could focus on those things in her life that actually mattered to her, and the better she could serve her customers. Another powerful way we guard our circle is by focusing on the people in our circle that really should be there. There's all kinds of people that we should have in our circle, people that we respect, people whose opinions we highly value, people who love us, people who know us, people who have our best interest in mind. Those kinds of people should be in our circle, and the more that we listen to their voices, the easier it will be to drown out the bad voices. And I have to say here that while I'm talking about guarding your circle, I am not saying that you're guarding your mind from anything that is hard or difficult and that everything needs to just be sunshine and roses. Sometimes people in our life that should be in our circle will say something hard to us. Sometimes we need to hear that, that criticism from them. Sometimes they need to tell us something like, you need to fix this, or this is a problem. And we need to be able to listen to that. If they're speaking truth into our life, that is their job. By guarding your circle, I by no means am saying that you are only going to let the happy stuff in. Sometimes we need those hard things more than anything. So guarding your circle just decides who gets to tell you those things. These are important people that are supposed to speak truth into our life. And the more that we focus on them and how we can serve them, the easier it will be to push out those bad voices that don't deserve to be in our circle. The more we focus on our goals and dreams and those things that we truly believe we are called to do in this life, the easier it will be to see which voices are helpful and which ones are not. Which voices are going to help us get to those goals and which ones are not. Which voices should we allow to speak into our life and which ones we should not allow. The more we clear our circle and only allow truth to grow, the healthier our mindset, our energy, and our brain space will be. As we fill our life with good, truthful voices, and we silence those lies and all the negative voices, we will be amazed at the way we see our life realign. By being a princess warrior of our circle, we are allowing space for good things and blessings to come into our life and into the lives of those we touch. So that's it for this video. If this was helpful, please hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments below which kind of video is more helpful for you. Is it the video where we talk about tools and strategies, or is it a video like today where we talk more about mindset and personal development? Both of these are so vital for business, but I really want to know how I can best help you. So until then, I will see you all in the next video. And how we can serve them, the easier it will be to push out those bad voices and to silence those negative people that don't have a right. They don't have a right. They don't have a right to speak into my life. I have no idea what that accent was.